what I was gonna say is it's that show. What's it called? It's the keeping up. Meet the Khans. That's it. Meet the Khans. I was like keeping up with the Khans, but Meet the Khans was basically like keeping up with the Kardashians, but for the boxer Amir Khan and his wife Faryal as well. And have you watched it? Because I've heard from a lot of people it's actually like worth watching.
Really, I've not watched it, but there's a massive like billboard for it in my Pure Gym. And I was like, that is genius because you are getting it to the right audience.
True, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was like, that marketing, good job. But it has actually made me want to watch it because of that billboard. But I think I might give it a go because he is funny.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, he's a bit of like he's from Bolton, isn't it? So it's kind of like obviously like repping Manchester and that. One thing that I wanted to ask your thoughts on as well was like this quote that came from him, and it's from his wife Faryal, and she said, basically, apparently Amir Khan no longer cheats on her now because he's an old man, and yeah, she said we've been through hell and back. He's been accused of cheating on her more than 9 times, but he vows he's now a changed man. So I just don't know, like, what do you think about that old man thing, though? Like, do you think that, not necessarily is cheating okay, but do you think you kind of get this idea of, like, when people are younger, because they got together quite young, I think. So, like, do you think when people are younger, it's more likely that people are going to cheat, and as you get more mature, then it's less likely?
I think 2 things when you're young is the accessibility of the option to cheat, of like, you know, you might be going out in certain environments, you end up, I think you meet a lot more people at this age than you might do when you're older, and also just the fact that like, because it's so common, it kind of breeds a culture where it's accepted in a sense, which obviously is not okay. And I think the difference between being young and being slightly older is that when you're older you kind of crave that stability, so you would be more like accepting of settling down with one person and not going and being promiscuous. You know,
do you think that's why it's maybe more common amongst, like, say, I don't know, I don't want to put anything out there, but maybe amongst like brown men who, because in like South Asian culture widespread, obviously we know that it's quite common for people to get married at a younger age. So then do you think it's or at least be in like a stable relationship? But then even that's not really it, because there is kind of that pressure, like, you need to get married, like, you can't be in, like, a relationship sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, obviously, do you think that's kind of what maybe leads to this higher prevalence of maybe, like, cheating or kind of, like, side things or, like, sort of thing, because people maybe aren't ready? Like, I don't know.
For, like, a lot of people, they like to get that out the way, you know, like dating around and like meeting new people and kind of like doing their own thing. They like to get that out of the way quite young, and then when they find somebody who they really get along with and they settle down. I think with our culture, the pressure is on to settle down faster. So you might have that like pressure to settle down, so you find someone to do it with, everything's going well, but what you haven't done is fulfilled the other side of you that might want to be out there meeting new people. And I'm not trying to say like necessarily people are like sleeping around or like doing anything wrong, because none of that's wrong, it's absolutely fine, but you know, just meeting new people and establishing like relationships, romantic or otherwise, with multiple people that, you know, you can't necessarily do in a way when you're settled down in a very committed relationship or a marriage.
Yeah, I think this is the thing as well. I think especially in today's day and age, it's very accepted if people want to, like, the word sleep around, it kind of has that kind of connotation to being a negative thing, but there actually isn't anything wrong with, if you want to do that, do that. I think the only problem is if you are in a committed relationship, there's kind of that, it depends what relationship it is. If you're in an open relationship and that you're fine with that, the person's fine with that, then yeah, whatever. But if you're in a relationship and you know the other person is kind of like, you know you would be hurting them by doing that, then I think
then obviously there's something inherently wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we talk about sleeping around. It's just about, I think, in our community, owning sexuality in a sense that it would seem like that's such a bad thing, that, you know, oh, the chat about body count, or like she's done this with that person, or they've done that, or like they get around. That just shouldn't be a conversation we're having in 2021. And I feel like it is so rife in South Asian community that people really care about that topic of conversation when it shouldn't be in that way. And that is what also prevents us, I think, from the phrase "getting it out your system" is a weird one, but I kind of, for lack of a better phrase, I'll use it.
Yeah.
Getting that out in your early years, getting that out of the way, and then going on to settle down. I think that's what, along with the pressure of finding a committed relationship to end up in a marriage, are two things that really probably do cause the prevalence of cheating in our community.
Yeah.
Maybe not just in our community, maybe across loads.
Yeah, and again, this isn't me like coming at anyone. I'm just saying I think you kind of do see it sometimes about like kind of young brown men not necessarily being loyal in that sense, and as seen with like Amir Khan, and I'm not trying to like loop him in with like a load of like oh, brown men cheat sort of thing. I'm just saying, like, do you think maybe that's what it is? Because obviously these people got together in 2013. I think they were like, I think she was like 21, so he would have been, what, he's 34 now. I can't do maths. Minus 10.
26.
Yeah, so still like young. Wait, no. 34 to 2013. 2021.
8 years.
1
so he's
8.
So he's 34 now. Yeah, 26.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Well done, Simran. A star for you. Right. So yeah. So like that's young. Like 26 and 21. Like it is like quite young to get married. But then I'm also kind of like, is it young? Because we say like, oh, when people mature, like maybe they don't cheat as much. But I'm also like, I would say maybe like when you're like in your teenage years, that's your time to kind of like screw up, basically. That's your time to like not get things right. But then once you're kind of like 18 or certainly 20 plus, I don't think you're
definitely know better.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an excuse sometimes. Like I don't think people actually, I think it's more a case of people are a bit selfish, if I'm being honest. I think there's that kind of...
Yeah, I feel like people want the fun of like a single life and like being able to get out there and do what you like, but they also like the stability of relationships, and that's probably is what leads people to cheat, or there's something they're in the relationship they're not happy with. But obviously then you just address the problem in your relationship.
Yeah.
You don't go and be unfaithful.
I don't get that though. Like I don't get like people that are in these stable relationships but then will go out and like have a bit of fun or whatever, because maybe that's just, I don't know, maybe that's me like not being on that wavelength, but I just don't understand that process.
Part of it, what must come into it is ego. I reckon it must just be like such a good ego boost for people that do it. Like it must just like feel good that, oh, you get to go out and get attention and whatever.
I would do exactly the opposite to me though. I would literally like feel so down. Like I wouldn't be able to like hide. I wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't even be a case of like my partner asking me, oh, have you done this? I wouldn't be able to like to keep it in myself sort of thing. Like I don't know. How have we ended up on like a downer again? Let's play some music.